Now, 1,700 jobs for disabled people are potentially in jeopardy after the government announced dozens of Remploy factories are to close. Remploy provides specially designated jobs for people with disabilities. The unions say today's announcement is quite simply barbaric, depriving people of sustainable employment. But the government have accused them of backing Victorian-era segregation. So will those facing redundancy find viable alternative jobs? Our social affairs editor, Jackie Long, now reports.
For Mark Holloway, working at Remploy has been about much more than just having a job.
Getting about, and I mean, that's why I work at Remploy, you know.
He has cerebral palsy and has worked for the company for 26 years, doing everything from making cardboard boxes to packing electronic circuit boards. This afternoon, he learned his factory is to close.
Utter devastation, to be quite honest with you, because it would not only mean that I'll be out of work, but it'll mean there's a lot of vulnerable people that will also be out of work.
And he bitterly disagrees with claims these factories are ghettos for the disabled.
You don't believe it's ghettoised?
No. Remploy has allowed me and people with a lot worse disabilities than me to contribute to the local and national economy, pay their taxes, pay their national insurance and all that, not sponge or take benefits. They've gone and done a proper day's work.
This is the factory where Mark works in Barking in East London, and it's one of 36 across the country that are due to close, with around 1,500 disabled people to lose their jobs. The government insists that its £320 million budget for disability employment will stay the same, but it'll be better spent, more focused, enabling thousands more disabled people to find work. But not everyone is convinced.
It's probably true to say that I've never been a #1 fan of Remploy because it is about segregated employment of disabled people. But where I'm really worried is that with the closure of the factories, it's another 1,700 disabled people in a really tough job market looking for work where there is a significant amount of discrimination.
Remploy factories have been employing disabled people for more than 60 years. They were set up to give work to disabled veterans after the Second World War. But the factories, heavily subsidised by the government, have been making losses, £68 million last year. And after an independent review, the government now says it wants to focus financial support at individuals rather than institutions.
What we have to look at is the individual, and what's right for one person will not be right for the other. We'll make sure that there is £2,500 available to pay for the support that individual needs. That's £2,500 for each individual who is affected by the announcements today, and we will put in place a package of support over the next 18 months.
Tonight, as they left their shift, that was little comfort for workers at the Remploy factory in Bridgend in South Wales.
Shocked. I'm so dead.
I wouldn't trust the government again. Not this government anyway.
Devastated.
Mark Holloway's assessment of his own future is bleak. He's terrified he will never work again.
I'm not asking for benefits. I'm not asking for handouts. All I want to do is contribute to society, contribute to the community.